Before I went to rehab, I always thought spiritual warfare would look like a movie. Visible monsters, disembodied growls. I was completely wrong. The intense thoughts in my head didn't sound like monsters. They sounded exactly like me. If you look at the journal entry from December 18, 2024, the top asks me to describe the way my mind works, to talk about my thoughts. So here's what I wrote down. Lately, the thoughts I have been thinking have been negative or self-defeating. My mind is very much in a battle right now. To be able to put these thoughts aside, I have been having a great deal of trouble sleeping due to these thoughts. My mind races with the thoughts that I've let so many people down, that I've let myself down, and that I've done such shameful things. And the devil wants to keep me right in those thoughts. Sometimes I think to myself that I would be better off not to have been born. There are some moments of peace, but they seem so few and far between. I dwell on the past and I dwell on the future. I'm rarely in the present where God wants me to be. I beg for God's mercy and will wait on it to shine through. My mind wouldn't shut up. I was running on 6 hours of sleep a week. My body was physically reflecting the stress. Around 2010, a tremor had taken hold of my neck. It looked like Parkinson's. For years, I thought it was just a central tremor, but I know that it was directly related to the actual demon himself. It was the physical sign of me carrying a weight so heavy that my body literally shook. Medication never worked for years. Over those years, my neck muscles learned to compensate just to get me through the day. But eventually I was drinking vodka like water just to try and calm the noise. Needless to say, it didn't work. Instead, I found myself in a nonprofit boot camp rehab that was run out of an old segregated school made entirely of cinder blocks, inside and out. The bare hallway stretched for about 25 yards. I remember an intense meeting where I was drilled. It was during our weekly feedback meeting. When the negative votes came cascading down on me, everyone knew I was struggling and having a hard time keeping up with the program. The staff addressed it directly in front of the group. They told me I had unconfessed sin. They told me I wasn't hearing from God. They called me fake and fraudulent. That's when the reality hit me. Everything I had been wrestling with silently in the dark, everything I just read to you from my notebook, was now being echoed out loud by real people in a public setting. My assignment for getting those negative votes was to go around and pray with every single person in the building, document it, and turn it in as homework. But I wasn't the only one finding the environment challenging. There was a 29-year-old kid in my group, checkered history. His brother had taken his life, mother was gone, lived in a motorhome, kind of homeless in and out. He muttered to himself quite a bit. The staff decided his issue was that he wasn't talking enough, so they gave him a specific task. He had to carry a backpack loaded with 30 heavy books everywhere, to church, to muse. He could only take a single book out if he initiated a conversation with someone. It was their way of forcing him to engage. He didn't make it through the program. He got into a loud argument one morning with staff, and at dawn he walked out the front door. When someone left the program early, we were instructed not to speak to them and to report it if he came back on the property. I understood why he left, but I also knew that for me, walking out that door would be an absolute death sentence. I had nowhere else to go but to a grave. Looking back at it now, on the other side of salvation, my whole perspective has shifted. I don't look back at that place with anger. The staff were just men trying their best to use human structure and rules to fix a broken soul. But you can't fix a spiritual identity crisis with homework in a backpack full of books. They thought I was fake and fraudulent, and the truth is I was, but it wasn't because I wasn't trying. It was because I was trapped in a performance trap, trying to earn a grace that can only be given. Just a week before I was saved, I had actually scheduled an appointment to possibly undergo major brain surgery just to try and stop that neck tremor. But it turns out it stopped the absolute instant I was saved. The wires didn't need cutting. The demon was just gone. I called the doctor back and canceled my appointment myself. The clock was ticking towards August 29. Hit follow. Tomorrow we'll keep moving forward.